All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning yoga with Imran. Uh, Sorry for a little technical difficulties this morning. You would think after a year of doing this, I'd have this down, but that's just how much of a Luddite I am. But anyways, grateful to be here in my childhood home in Houston, Texas, and thank you for joining. And Today, the title of our session is How to Overcome Paranoia. So, paranoia is a feeling of extreme mistrust of other people, that other people are scheming against you, they are uh, in it, there's some sort of conspiracy. And how does this feeling come about for someone struggling in their mental health? So I recently wrote a blog post on bpharmony.com that states the title is Everything You Need to Know to Overcome Paranoia with BP. And I tell the story of when I was a farmer, and when I was farming, there's many stages in caring for a plant. There's the nursery stage, there's the planting stage, there's the pruning, and then amongst other things, then we harvest. And if one step goes wrong, it can delay the harvest or it can completely destroy the crop. So one time I had planted a row of okra and I installed the wrong irrigation system, which nearly killed the okra plants. And my manager, he expressed a little bit of disapproval. He told me to be more mindful and then to correct my mistake. And he didn't realize the storm that had started in my mind. I started thinking, oh man, how could I make such a dumb mistake? I am so bad at what I do, and like I think he's going to fire me now. And so these negative thoughts, which began in the morning time, had festered and mutated so much by the afternoon that in the afternoon time, I was so preoccupied with my mistake and with these thoughts of, you know, just how worthless I was. I saw my colleagues laughing in the distance, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, my manager, he told them, and they're all laughing at me, and they're probably trying to come up with ways to fire me. And the next day, my manager, during lunchtime, he asked, "Hey, Imran, you look like you have a lot on your mind. What's going on?" And I was like, "Nope, nothing's wrong. What do you mean?" And he's just like, "I've just noticed you're really in your head." I said, "Well, I'm still thinking about that mistake I made." And he looked at me and he laughed and said, "Hey, Imran, like I've long forgotten about that, and everyone makes mistakes." And when he said that, that dislodged me from this negative thinking that I had in my mind. And I realized, wow, like I created this whole story in my mind. And, today when I look back on that story, I have come up with a formula to help reverse paranoid thinking. And the formula goes as follows, that poor sleep plus stress equals racing thoughts. And racing thoughts plus a perceived failure equals paranoia. So I say the word perceived failure because oftentimes the mistake that we make due to having racing thoughts and not being able to focus, and we're not able to focus because we didn't get a good night's sleep and there's some stress in life, and it creates these mistakes. And then when we keep making mistakes, we think, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world, I'm useless, everyone is out to get me. So there's three things that I mention in my blog post, and then we'll start moving our bodies a little bit. The first is slow down. Slow down. Not just your activities of trying to do a million things in a day, because that can happen in the hypomanic and manic stages, but also slow down our thoughts. You might notice that when you wake up, there's already thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. You might notice that while you are doing one thing, you are thinking about another thing, but then you're ruminating about something in the past, and it becomes difficult to operate in the present when our mind is divided into past, present, future. And so slow down and try to find the space in between each thought and then expand that space. Second is tell yourself it's not true. The story that you've made up in your mind, that I made up in my mind those years ago, it wasn't true at all. It couldn't be further from the truth. And you know, that is one way that I realize, like, hey, is this true? Well, if I am not able to convince myself that this is something false, then the third thing, after slowing things down and telling yourself, hey, is this true? Then seek clarification from the person that you feel is conspiring against you. And just say, hey, I wanted to check in. I made this mistake, or I made you feel this way, or I might have been a little bit cranky. Can we talk about it? Can you clarify like how you're feeling, so that, because I'm thinking it's a really big deal. So it's easier said than done, but just building this awareness of the nature and the tendency of racing thoughts plus some kind of failure turns into a negative thought loop, which can then turn into this feeling of paranoia that everyone is out to get me. And then it could progress even to hypomania and mania and other levels. I mean, paranoia is part of hypomania and mania, but a way to stop it are these three recommendations of slowing down, questioning whether or not your thoughts are aligned with reality, and third, getting clarification from the person you feel may be upset at you or is conspiring against you. Okay, so with those three, let's bring our hands together. Let's generate some heat in our hands and bring the awareness to the warmth that we're building in our hands. And with the heat that we feel, we just feel the sensation in our hand. Feel the tingling of the fingers. And just feeling the sensations of the body. You notice all the other parts of the body that have been harking for our attention. Harkening. And blow some cool air into your hands. You can bring your hands onto your shoulders and massage your shoulder, your tricep, your biceps, your forearms, your wrists. And just kind of massaging yourself helps bring awareness from the chaos of the brain and to the sensations of the present moment. You've seen me in the past do the sense of smell, do the sense of sound, and today we are practicing with the sense of touch, just noticing the mundane details of how our body feels when we place our hands on it. So I've been sitting with my legs forward. I'm going to come into easy pose. Easy pose is where we bring our feet in front of us and one foot rests in front of the other. And we anchor down, planting our hips into the ground firmly, noticing how our knees drop to the ground, allowing gravity to open up space. And like a tree trunk, We straighten the spine. We bring our fingers to the center of our chest. And then we spread our fingers out to the shoulders. This broadens the shoulders. We bring our palms onto our knees. We straighten the neck and imagine that the head is afloat on water. I'm so delighted that my father has decided to join in. Yoga is great, even for someone nearing their 70s.
68.
All right. We'll close our eyes. I feel a sense of community where if you're practicing with someone in the room, but you're also practicing here online, feel a sense of connection, feel a sense of belonging, that you're not alone in this journey, that you are doing this in community, and you will get through this. So let's bring our awareness to our stomach. And when we inhale, we inflate the belly. And when we exhale, we deflate the belly. And if it helps, you can place your hand on your belly. Actually, I want everyone to place their hand on their belly. And to feel the sensation of the cloth or your hand if you're shirtless resting on your belly. And feel the up and down, the inflation and the deflation as you breathe. So deep inhale, hold, and exhale. Another thing that makes the body tense is tight and quick breathing. So in order to relax the body, we begin with the breath. Deep inhale, try to make it 3 to 5 seconds long. Deep inhale, hold, and exhale for 3-5 seconds. And after the exhale, hold. Deep inhale, hold, and exhale 3 to 5 seconds. Hold. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now pick 2 parts of your body that is making contact with your shirt. It could be your stomach, it could be your shoulders, it could be your back. But notice your cloth touching the 3 parts of your skin, and pick those 3 parts. So for example, I've picked the part of my shirt that is touching my right shoulder, my left shoulder, and I'm going to also keep thinking about my stomach. Deep inhale. And exhale. And inhale. exhale. Last inhale. And exhale. We can open our eyes, bring our hands together, and as we raise our hands to the sky, we're going to take the biggest inhale we've taken all day long. 1, 2, 3. Inhale deep. And exhale down. Once again, inhale deep and bring your hands up. And exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. Wonderful. In order to even out the hips, if your right leg is front of your left, switch sides to bring your left in front of the right. And now I'm going to inhale up. And bring your right hand to the left of your left knee and twist. Inhale up. And now left hand to the right of your right knee. Do that back and forth. Inhale up. And exhale down. When you bring your hands up, try to bring your bicep muscle next to your ears. So that'll really open up the spine. Inhale up. Send your arms back, back, back. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And bring the hands down in a cactus form, cactus arms. Send the elbows back. Imagine that you're trying to hold a pencil with your back along the line of your spine. And now invert your hands. Grab hold behind your back. And straighten your elbows. Send your shoulders back. Shine the chest forward. Look up. Take a deep inhale. And look down. Look up. Look down and exhale. Now from here, we're going to rotate our neck counterclockwise. Continue breathing deeply. If you cough like I do, that's okay. And especially in the areas of tightness, take a deep breath and breathe into that tightness. And once you make it down to the bottom, we'll switch the rotation. And breathe. and let go of your hands. Come back to the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to extend our legs out into the shape of an L and to try to make a 90-degree angle. So if it's difficult, it's okay to bring them together. What we really want to try to do is make the legs straight, and then you're going to feel the stretch in your groin muscle, and that's what we're going to open up. So open, open, open. You can use your hands to brace yourself and to kind of get your tailbone to stick out. So imagine you have a tail. Try to stick out that tail. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands together. Inhale up. And exhale, forward fold. And just allow for gravity to open up the tightness of the lower back, the neck. Drop the weight of your head. And we'll come back up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to take my finger, and I'm going to grab the hook of my big left toe. If I can't make it to my left toe, that's okay. You can grab your ankle, you can grab your shin, you can grab your knee. Yoga is not about being the most flexible, it's about quieting the chaos of the mind. So as long as you're comfortably edgy, you're pushing yourself a little bit, you're bringing awareness into the body, you're visiting all the tightness of the body, that's a good place. So what I'm going to do once I've grabbed my toe or my ankle is I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to shoot it up to the sky. I'm going to look up, and then I'm going to look down. Look up and look down. And from here, I'm going to send my right hand over to the left side. So I'm going to feel the stretch in my intercostal muscles. And when I look up, I'm going to try to send my arm over to the right side. So when I look up, I can see the ceiling. Look down. Look up. And look down. We come back up. Nice. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll bring my right hand, grab my big right toe. I'm going to shoot my hand up to the sky. Look up, look down, look up, and look down. And from here, I'm going to send my left hand over to the right side. And when I look up, open up my chest, send my left hand over to the left side, so when I look up, I can see the ceiling. Look down. Look up. And look down. And we'll come back to the center. We'll bring our legs together. And from here, we'll stretch out our hamstrings and do a little twisting. So straighten the spine. Inhale up. And exhale, forward fold. Try to grab your toes. If you can't grab your toes, grab the ankles, grab the shin, grab the knee. Whatever feels comfortably edgy. Drop the weight of your head. And we'll come back up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my right foot into my left inner upper thigh. And we're going to focus more on the left leg. Inhale up. And exhale, forward fold. Sway side to side. And come back up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right leg. I'm going to place my right foot to the left of my left knee. I'm going to take my right hand and place it behind my back, or behind my right hip. And then I'm going to inhale, send my hand up, and then bring my left elbow to the right of my right knee. And I'm going to begin my twist. Yep, there you go. I'm going to begin my twist with the core. Twist with the core. Let those intestines get massaged. Now twist with the shoulder. And then finally look over with your neck. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. You feel like a nice massage to your gut. You come back, twist with the neck, uncoil the shoulder, uncoil the stomach. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to bring my left foot in, place the heel to the inner right side, inhale up, and exhale, forward fold. Drop the weight of your head. Come back up. I'm going to place my left foot to the right of my right knee. I'm going to place my left hand behind my back. Okay, and if you're not able to make it to this side, you can just place your left foot to the left of your left knee, and we can still do the same motion. So inhale up, and bring your right elbow over to the left of your left knee. Begin the bind with your core, then with your shoulder, and then look back. And breathe, inflate the belly, deflate the belly. You'll feel the massage of your intestines. Now uncoil by uncoiling the neck, uncoiling the shoulders, and then the belly. All right, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit. Ooh. Coming onto our knees. I'm encouraging my dad to continue. We'll come onto tabletop position. And from here, we're going to do cat-cow to kind of warm up the core muscles. So the way we do cat-cow is we begin with the tailbone and end in the top of our head. And then the second motion will also begin with the tailbone and end with our head. So we first go into cow pose by raising the tailbone, dropping our stomach, shining our heart forward, looking up, and then beginning again with the tailbone, dropping the tailbone, arching the spine, and dropping the head. So inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Really try to do some audible inhales, audible exhales, so the people in the room can hear you. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. All right, the next bit of poses are a little bit more advanced. If you can't do them, that's okay. So we're going to get into downward facing dog by sending our hips back, our knees up, our ears in between our biceps, and just to open up the hamstrings, the hips a bit more. Very nice. Pedal your legs. Very good. And from here, we're going to get into plank pose. Inhale into chaturanga. Exhale, up dog. And back into downward facing dog. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my leg up. And from here, I'm going to bring my right knee to my right elbow. Back to the downward dog split. Right knee to the nose. Back to the downward dog split. And now I'm going to bring my right knee over to my left elbow. Back to the downward dog split. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my hip. I'm going to drop over. Be careful with the shoulder. And with my right hand, I'm going to send it up and over. Come back up, over, into downward facing dog. And now we'll do the same thing now with the left leg. Okay. So I'm going to raise my left leg. And from here, bring my left knee over to the left shoulder, my left elbow. Back to the downward dog split. Inhale, knee to nose. Back to the downward dog split. And last one, knee to the right elbow. Back to the downward dog split. And from here, I'm going to flip the dog. And come back. We've been on our wrists for some time, so we can give our wrist a little break. We'll widen our knees, broader than our yoga mat. I have an imaginary invisible yoga mat today. And sit down and come into child's pose and catch our breath. And we'll come back up. We'll do some slight hip opening. But first we're going to fire up our core muscles with some 30-second planks. So, planks are one of the best ways to raise the heart, your heart rate, and burn a lot of this very annoying belly fat. And so we're going to go into a shoulder plank. And the way we do this is we come down into tabletop and bring our elbows to the ground. And from here, while keeping the elbows and forearm on the ground, we get into push-up position. The tendency is to bring the butt up, keep the butt down. And we hang out here for 30 seconds. You can close your eyes, but remember, relax your jaw and breathe. The amazing thing about putting our body and moving our body is you'll notice you're not thinking about your problems, because this is another problem. But this is a problem that offers solutions. All right, 5 more seconds. And rest. Oh, come back into child's pose. And we come into tabletop pose. Now from here, we're going to open up our hips. We're going to open up our hips and come into a pose called lizard pose. Okay? So the way we do this is we come into plank position, and from here, I'm going to send my right foot to the right of my right knee, right hand. Okay? You might already feel the opening up of the hip. Now, before I go sink into my lizard pose, I'm going to touch my right shoulder with my right hand. I'm going to send it up, look down, look up, and make 3 big circles. 2, 3, and now go the other way. 1, 2, 3. I'll bring my hands back, and from here, I'm going to sink into lizard pose by bringing my elbows down to the ground. come back up, come into plank pose, and now do the same thing with our left foot, bringing our left foot to the left of our left hand, taking our left hand, placing it on the left shoulder, extending upward, look up, look down, look up, and make 3 big circles. Three big circles the other way. I'm going to bring my hands back to the ground, and from here, sink down into lizard pose by bringing my elbows down to the ground and sinking into my hips, opening up my hip flexors. Remember to breathe. Okay, come back up, back into plank pose, downward facing dog, and from here you can either walk up to your hands or come in and do a hop, and from here come up, send your hands up, and bring your hands down. Well done. Well, you might be feeling your heart rate is up. There's a lot of warmth in the belly, in the hips. And this heat generates oxygen, blood flow, and helps all of the congestion that's up here, and helps us bring the awareness and the energy to flow without blockage all throughout the body. So, with that being said, we are going to do a challenge of 100 squats, or in the Pakistani culture, 100 utak baitaks. So, this was a punishment that was given to us as kids, but now we do it to keep ourselves healthy. So, the key to a good squat is to be a little bit wider than your hips, to splay the feet 30 degrees outward, and when we come down, we don't want to do this. We want to send our hips backwards and to keep our spine straight. All right, we're going to start in 10 seconds. So kind of loosen up, get mentally ready, because once we start, we're going to make it to 100. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Keep the neck up. 3. Keep looking straight. Yep. 4, 5, 6. Regulate your breathing. 7, 8, 9. Send the booty back. 10. Keep the back straight. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You might feel your heart rate is up. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Imagine there's a chair behind you and you're trying to sit on it every time. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You got this. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. If you feel like giving up, that's okay. But return to your why. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this for myself? Am I doing this for someone in my life? What is your why? 47, 48, 49. It's okay if emotions get released. 50. That's what we're trying to do. So get all those trapped emotions out of the body as well. 53. More than halfway through. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. Recalibrate your postures, your form. Send the booty back. Keep the back straight. The tendency is to want to do this. 64. 65. 66. But sit into that chair every time. 69. 70. Lying to myself. 74 and 75%. 25 more. It's the final. Let's make it count. 80. Last 20. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Final 10. 2, 3. Really sink in deep. 4. Make these last ones count. 5, 6, 7, 98. Look at that. 99 and 100. All right, shake it off a little bit. Allow for the lactic acid buildup to release. Catch your breath. If you're having a hard time catching your breath, you can bring your hands above your head. Take some deep inhales. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come into a nice squat position to rest. Control the breath. Control the heart rate. If you can't come into squat, you can lean forward and use your hands as, kind of a brace. And from here, we're going to come into my sister's favorite pose of Shavasana, which is called corpse pose because literally you are on the ground like a corpse. So come and join me on the ground and notice the changes in the body. Notice the heart rate. Notice the blood flow. Take a deep breath in and try to control the breath. Calm it down. But this is the part of the yoga practice where we soak in all of the benefits, all of the lessons. So imagine that you're a sponge right now, and you're taking in all of the teachings of this yoga session today. And it's much easier now to pay attention to our bodies because our bodies, all of the sensations of the bodies, they're really loud right now. So as we bring our core heart rate down, take our awareness to our belly once again by placing our hand on our belly. And inflate the belly as we inhale. And exhale, deflate. The mind gets distracted by what am I going to do after this. Just bring the awareness back to the breath. Don't worry. Everything is still going to be there and it'll get done. But for now, we are here in this moment. If you're a believing person like I am, once you notice all of the chaos of the mind quiet down, you can really send a prayer, make a very sincere prayer for whatever it is that you wish to make. And if you don't believe, that's okay. Send positive thoughts to the people you love in your life or yourself. Let's grab our hands together. We'll bring our hands above our heads for one final stretch. Elongate yourself. Try to make your fingers go higher and your feet go lower. And now swim like a fish. Bring your legs up. Turn to the right side. Push yourself up with your left hand. And come back up to meet me where we started. Well, I hope everyone's feeling energized, feeling motivated, feeling rejuvenated, and thank you so much. I love doing this every Sunday morning, and still working out the tech kinks, but it's been a fantastic journey. You know, at this point, after a year, I've been able to help people struggling with some severe mental health issues and helping them in their journey. I feel blessed to be able to provide this service to people from research and, of course, real life experience. And today, you know, with our movement practice, we talked about how to overcome paranoia, this feeling of everyone is out there to get me. And so my recommendation is, number one, slow down. Slow down the thoughts by moving the body like we did today and finding the quietness in between each thought and expanding that space in between each thought. Second is to question these paranoid thoughts. Hey, is this really true? And often we'll realize like, yeah, this is probably an overstatement. But if we're not able to convince ourselves, then the third step is to seek clarification from the person that we think might be upset at us or is conspiring against us. And it's easier said than done, but having a regular mindfulness movement practice really helps quiet down the chaos of the mind to come into the body. And you'll realize that after a movement like this, you come to your problems, they don't seem as overwhelming, they don't seem as challenging. With that being said, we conclude today's practice. Please reach out to me, info@bpharmony.com. You can also go to bpharmony.com. I've got a lot of cool things going on, reconstruction of the website, and switching from a product-based model to a subscription-based model. So it's been really fun and a lot of work going on in the background. And I just released my book, The 5 Pillars of Bipolar Recovery, on Amazon. It's available, so you can search it. It's free if you are a Kindle user, and it's on Amazon as an ebook for $9.99. I'm also working on an audiobook. So for those of you that struggle with reading, because I was struggling with reading during my acute recovery phase, I'll have an audiobook out soon. And reach out to me on YouTube, on Instagram. I am at your service. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.
The squat was